Yeah.
How do I do that? Oh, how drives us nuts? How do I get on Instagram? How do I impact people's lives? How do I start in a digital economy? How do I start in the knowledge industry? How do I create a course? How do I write a book? How will drive us crazy. But I want you to replace the word how with who.
You know, you truly have been such an inspiration, not just for my life, but just my mindset. It's affected my personal life, my family. And what's so empowering, to just watch what you've done. And when I hear you share, it's just where it all started. So can you take us, take my audience through a little bit, of your journey and how you got
Yeah.
into space, because it's so powerful.
Well, thank you. And thank you for all the kind words. Even before we got started, thank you for the words. And it's a pleasure to be here with everybody. I know if you're listening or watching right now, you have lots of options of what you could be doing. So thanks for spending it with us. And I promise we're going to deliver some great stuff here. I'll share my story just enough for people to know that no matter where you are as you're listening right now, and I don't mean physically where you are, but where you are in your journey of life, if this has been a really tough year or tough decade and your back's up against the wall and you're just trying to figure out what's next, I promise you I've been there. And I know what it's like to feel like you're going to be left behind and miss out and not be able to tap into the woman or the man that you were, destined to be. And I know that feeling. It can feel hopeless. I just want you to know I've been there and I know how to get out of that. But I've also been in a place where I started my business and started getting momentum. And then all of a sudden something shifted. I almost lost it, got through that, came out the other side. I also know what it's like to have your business doing well, but it's time to serve and give back more and contribute to the world, the earth, the planet, to other people on another level. And I know I've been there and have taken my business to levels I could have never imagined. I've started over 13 companies and someone who had dyslexia and barely got out of school, a multiple New York Times bestselling author. So, that's not really my personal journey, other than I just know the emotions behind all of our journey. I've also, I'm the child of 9 divorces. My mom 5, my dad 4, lots of moves and crazy childhood stuff. But I also know that that was my destiny and that was designed for me so I could be the man I am today. So I just really want to say, no matter where you were or where you are, I've been there. And today I'd love to just share what I can to help you get from where you are to where you want to go. Whether that's moving away from something painful or moving to that next chapter in your life that allows you to contribute and serve and grow to another level.
Yes, no, and thank you for that, Dean. It's so powerful. And if you are an entrepreneur that's listening, for those of you who are listening, you want to start your business. If you're questioning whether or not what you're doing right now is the right thing to do, you need to listen to all of this. You need to follow Dean too, because he's someone that has just it's different when you're listening to someone who knows from their own experience, who really has walked the walk, talked the talk, and has created the results from it. So I'm so excited. Dean is someone that I've been learning so much from, myself and Tony. And so, you talk so much about mindset, and that is one of the greatest uh, that's one of the greatest gifts you've given me, with the tools in my toolbox that I go to every time. What is the most powerful mindset shift, to build a successful career, or just a mindset shift in general? I mean, these are the questions that constantly come in my DMs, if I'm talking about entrepreneurship. And as I've shared about these, this challenge that we're all going to do, people want to know, like, what is that shift?
Well, so when I hear a question like this, and I want everybody to think about this,
Mhm.
I break it down into 2 buckets, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's 2 answers to every question. There's the one right in front of you that I think is very tactical based, strategy based, right? You need the strategy, you need the tools, you need the tactics, right? Especially if you're going to start a new company or shift or bolt on a new company or expand your company. You need the strategy and the tactics and the tools. But then there's always the upstream, that I like to call it, that is the mindset behind it, that you'll never accomplish it if you don't anchor that in as well.
Yeah.
So I want to give you a little story. Tony and I, he does a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of things. He helped me 25 years ago when I bought his course. He shifted my life, and he's really been a great mentor. And now he's my dearest friend. We own a couple companies together. We do business together. We're doing this 1 million person challenge together. Right.
Yeah.
Um, but if you think about the reason I share that is there was a story I heard. Oh, that's what I would say. I got off track for a minute. There was an amazing woman that I ended up having on one of my Zoom calls, and I picked on her and I was talking to her, and she was talking about the tactical thing holding her back. And I want to share this with you. We were talking about getting her message. She was going to help women find their true empowerment. She was amazing. She had this heart, this soul, and you could just tell she was going places. You know, when you meet that woman, you just know she's going. There's nothing stopping her, right?
Yeah.
She had all this passion, and she was talking to me about that. It just wasn't working for her to do an online video. And she was talking about all the time. I'm not sure if I said the right thing, and it's just not working, and it doesn't come across authentic. And I could feel something was different because I could give her the tools. There's a method I teach people to do a hook, story, close, like say something that gets people to stop. That's the hook. Then tell a story, just a scene of your life that's really empowering. Then take a couple lessons from that story and give them an action, right? That's the story, teach, tool, right? It's the hook, story, close. It's just these great metaphors. Anyway, not to get too off that, but I could tell she was asking about the tools and the tactics, but I knew it was something more upstream. So I said to her, I said, listen, I can get you the tools to help you to be better on video. That's it. But I can tell something's holding you back. And after asking her, after really talking through it, we broke down that she loves her husband, been with her husband for 18 years, but he thought what she was doing was silly, that it was for other people, that it was for a Tony Robbins or a Dean. And she realized that she didn't want to put a video up because she was afraid he would not kind of make fun or think it was stupid.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how tactical or strategic we get, or we give you the sharpest tool in the toolbox. If she wouldn't execute and she wasn't committed and one foot was out the door because her husband didn't have her back, there's nothing we can do. So I want to give you all that gift of realizing sometimes when you're confused and you're wondering why you're not moving forward, or why didn't I start this business, or why am I not doing something online? Everybody else is. Why am I not doing a virtual training? I want you to look at, can you gain the capabilities, the tools, the tactics, the strategies from someone who's already done it? Most cases, yes. But I also want you to think, what story, what person, what belief is anchored upstream that's not allowing you to go all in? Because listen, we can think back in relationships in your life. If maybe it was high school or when you were younger, if you had one foot out the door in a relationship, did it ever work? If you're not committed to an exercise plan or a diet plan, does it work? Right? If we're not 100% all in, as Tony says, if you don't burn the boats, it never works. So that question is, we could talk about some new great ways this world has shifted and some industries are exponentially growing. But I would really urge you to look upstream and decide what beliefs are making you feel like an imposter, or that you're not worthy, or you don't have the confidence to do it, or people don't support you, or your significant other wouldn't believe in what you do and should feel that you should be happy where you are. Life is good. Like all of those things without realizing are cumulative. And if they just get heavy enough, and Serena, you probably know this in your own life, they just get heavy enough, they tip the scale where you don't quit, you just play a little small. Does that make sense?
Yes. It 100% makes sense. And I can honestly say that I'm guilty of that myself. You know, I do that. I know when I'm holding myself back. I know when I'm playing small, you know, and it's interesting because you're listing off a bunch of examples. We're in your experience as, you know, an incredible teacher, educator, coach, where do people get the most stuck? You know, I feel like it's usually one of a few stories. And something that you brought up in one of your IG lives, I think, one of your live streams, you were talking about the mind. You know, you were talking about how blessed you are, how blessed we all are in so many ways, but how the mind has a tendency to go and find that problem, right?
Yeah.
And what can you tell us to do about that? Because I would say that, I asked you the question, I'm almost answering myself, like to say where people that get the most stuff, but it seems like there's that pattern. And so how do you break that pattern? What would you
Yeah,
tell them
great
to
question. So here's what I believe, and I'm just going to say it like it is.
do?
I personally, maybe not you, Serena, maybe not you who are listening, I feel like I was born a pessimist that
Yeah.
has to work every day to make sure I'm an optimist. I feel like my default would be, if I'm not paying attention, is to focus on what was taken away, what
Mhm,
went wrong, what could go wrong, and
mhm,
whose fault it is. Like
mhm,
I feel that's how I'm designed. And I have to be, and I know you've probably heard this before, maybe hear it for the first time again today, right? I have to be consciously aware of where my focus is going and where my thoughts are going all the time, because
mhm,
my brain wants to tell me, oh, that could go wrong. Oh, that won't work. It's the wrong economy, wrong president, or, where the world's going, or someone to blame. And here's the cool part. We always can focus on what we've lost. I mean, take COVID, for example. We
mhm.
can truly, without a doubt, every one of us could talk about what we've lost, what
Yeah,
went wrong,
yeah.
how it created uncertainty in our life. But isn't it also available at the same time to focus on what gifts COVID gave us, that we
Yes.
had the time to self reflect? We spent maybe a little more time home and you like it. You
Mhm,
see that more things can be done online and we could actually
mhm,
thrive our businesses by really understanding online. That
mhm.
maybe you realize that what you were doing, even though it paid the bills, wasn't actually serving your soul, and it's time to give back and create a business. We can decide to focus on it. Listen, I'm going to give the silliest analogy in the world, and I'm sorry it's so fifth grade or maybe
I
even
do
third
the
grade,
same type of thing, so
right?
I love those type of analogies.
But my dad, right? My dad, we all have our story. My dad was the youngest of 12 and he was physically and sexually abused. And he's told that publicly, or else I wouldn't say it. And it was hard. He got his teeth knocked out by his dad when he was in second grade, like crazy stuff. My dad never hit us, but he never got over that trauma. And he was very, like, he had a lot of anger built up into his inside until he was about 50. And I've been working with, he's 85. He's amazing. He's the best place of his life, but he went through a really tough time. It's why he was married and divorced a lot. It's why my mom left him when I was 3. But
Mhm,
my dad, I want to give you an example because I saw him have so much aggression. I saw my dad have a lot of conflict. I'm anti-conflict. I can't even watch boxing matches. I don't like MMA fighting. It doesn't serve me. I don't fight with people. I don't argue. I'd rather solve. I'd rather cure through empathy or compassion or walk away. It's just who I am. I became the polar opposite. So, for example, when I was a kid, if my dad got a fender bender, my dad, so same circumstance. I really want you to hear this, right? Same circumstance. When people say, no, no, that's just reality. Is it reality? My dad got in a car accident and would freak like, oh my God, my insurance is going to go up. My car will never look the same. It's your fault. Who did this? Scream, yell, want to fight with the guy, like nothing but conflict. And I
mhm,
remember the first time I got in a fender bender, I got out and my feeling was the complete opposite. I said, oh my God, it's metal and tin and we have insurance for this. Who cares? And it was the other person's fault. And I said, oh my God. And she was so nervous. She was shaking. I said, can I buy you a coffee? I said, look at me. I mean it. Look at my face. I
mhm,
don't care. It's a piece of metal and I pay insurance and I've been paying them for way too long. They owe me. I could use a better paint job. And she's like, are you for real? My husband's going to be mad. And I remember, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I messed up in a lot of areas. I asked her to call her husband. I got him on the phone and I said, hey, I just want to let you know we got a little fender bender. Could have been her fault, could have been mine, but who cares? Your amazing wife is fine and we're good. And the only reason I'm sharing both those examples, because think about it. A
mhm,
car accident is a circumstance, but
mhm,
our perception of that situation is our whole life.
mhm.
COVID is a circumstance. Our perception of a pandemic, of a shutdown, is our life. If we think we lost everything and the world's going to hell in a handbasket, it is. If we think that we can learn from it, grow, pivot into a new industry, start a new industry, finally overcome our fear, forget feeling like an imposter, gain new capabilities, use the extra time you have to read, to learn, to grow, to get courses, to do challenges, then all of a sudden it's a gift from God. And
Yes.
I'm just going to choose that it's a gift from God. Whether I might seem silly to some of you or not, that's the path I get to choose.
Dean, I'm just going to be silly with you because that is my perspective as well. We thrived during COVID because there was so much to teach people. There were so many people were just so hungry to learn and understand about, in my space, health and wellness and just healing and how to reframe their mindset about what they're current, or present situation was. And so, I'd like to just kind of take that moment to talk more about self-education, to talk more about how you can have these tools around you, what you can do to help yourself have those changing perspectives, how you change the lenses that you're wearing. You teach so many things, but I think that people always want to know, like, what can they do to really self-educate, and why it's so important to self-educate.
Yeah, so self-education can mean a lot of things, but to me, it's my life. And, Tony Robbins taught me a lot. And
Mm,
Jim Rohn taught Tony Robbins a lot. And Jim Rohn learned it from someone else. And it's all self-education. For me, I didn't take the college path. It just wasn't in my cards.
mhm,
I didn't think I was smart enough and didn't have the money. And my dad just said, just go to work after school. And I remember my guidance counselor kind of looking at me because I wasn't going to college, Serena, and she was just like, ooh,
wow.
okay. And literally gave me the address of the only factory in our little town that was hiring at minimum wage. So for her, there was no other. It was college. Nothing wrong with college. I'm just saying, in her eyes, college, path to greatness, no college, blue collar, live a miserable life,
Mhm,
right? Like, not just like, hey, you could start your own thing, or you could learn from other people, or you could read books, or you can find a mentor, or you can get into workshops. There was none of that.
mhm,
Now, that was only her unfortunate perception. When I found self-education and I started learning from Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra and amazing women and men who have been there, who have already conquered things, and then were so graceful to share what they've learned, it was
mhm,
like the world opened up. It's like, when I want to learn to be a big parent, a great parent, I can find great parents and learn from them. I want to learn to be a better marketer. I find great marketers and just learn from them. And I realized the difference between wide general knowledge
mhm,
and narrow specialized knowledge,
mhm.
right? So unfortunately, colleges just haven't kept up with an exponentially growing world. I hope they do. It's not knocking them. It's just they haven't. The
Mhm.
world's growing exponentially and colleges are kind of growing in a linear fashion, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, when you want to get healthy, right, or you want to teach health, right, you could go to college for 7 years to learn it, or you can find somebody that's that one path. Maybe you just want to obsess on understanding how to be a vegan, or how to eat, a certain way, how to exercise a certain way, how to live a certain lifestyle. You don't need to know all of it. The world has realized you just get the specialized knowledge and go deep and be the best person at that. Because here's something I think can really help sum this up
Yeah.
is, in our world, what overwhelms us is when we ask how. What's one of your favorite things to share with people, Serena,
Oh,
when it comes
I
to
love
health and wellness?
I love to share about culinary alchemy. That's my practice where I am working on, I'm healing your energetic body and your physical body. So, the foods that you eat not only nourish your physical body, but it's also nourishing your energy centers. And people just don't realize it's all in alignment. Like your root chakra, your sacral, that is in alignment with those organ systems. And so once I teach that to people, they're like, "Oh, I never thought of that." I'm like, "Yeah, it's so easy." So it's almost like you're killing two birds with one stone, just having
Yeah.
the awareness of it and putting that energy into it.
Oh my
So,
God, I love that. I love that. I want to learn more about that, by the way.
oh my
So
gosh.
here's the thing. I want everybody to hear what usually happens. Feel how elegant that was, and you could tell her not only your depth of knowledge, your depth of passion about it, right? I want to learn that, Serena, and I want to learn it from you, the way you just shared that in 2 minutes, right? But what happens in life, I really want you to hear this. The world has shifted because we used to think, if I want to learn how to eat better, I want to
Mhm.
learn a way to align my physical body with everything, like everything being in alignment.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Oh, how? How drives us nuts? How
Mm.
do I get on Instagram? How do I impact people's lives? How do I start in a digital economy? How do I start in the knowledge industry? How do I create a course? How do I write a book? How will drive us crazy. But I want you to replace the word how with who. You see, if I want to learn how to eat and have my body, my soul, and everything in alignment, I'm not going to figure out how to do it. I'm just going to hire Serena, or pay for a course she created, or attend her workshop, or be on a Zoom call with her, or barter. I'll share something I know so she could share something. The world has changed where we can find the who in anything. My daughter, when she loves to paint, she wanted to learn oil painting. when instead of figuring out how, she found a guy, Anthony, online who didn't go to college for it. He wasn't a teacher, just a cool dude who paints oil paintings. And she's on a Zoom call in our kitchen learning how to do, she got her oil painting up. She's learning how to do oil painting from the Who, which was Anthony. 97 bucks. She's learning how to do it, right? When my son Luca, he's a little bit over a year old, he has eczema, right? Of course, we were blessed to have access to everyone. We've been to great natural and regular doctors. But my wife wanted to learn from someone who went through it. My wife found the Who. It was this girl, Jamie. She was a mom with 2 kids with eczema. She spent a year obsessing on it, and she found natural ways to heal the gut and the liver on the inside, but then also how to detox the inside, but also how to put things on the skin that really soothe it. Not a doctor. She didn't go to college for it, but she went through the experience. So now she is the Who to go to. My wife spent, I think, $297, sat in our kitchen. Jamie filmed the entire course on her cell phone in her kitchen. And my wife got so much value out of it. And we still follow those protocols with my little boy, Luca. It's just the world has completely changed. And I want to encourage you today to know that when you want to learn something, don't think how anymore, think who. But here's the part that's most important. You are the Who to other people. There is an experience you've gone through. There's a mess that you're on the other side of. There's a skill that you've adopted. There's an eating habit. There's a daily ritual. There's a way to find the woman you were meant to be on the inside that made you not feel like just a mom or just a wife or just a business owner, but allowed you to have balance. That you know how to cut hair, do a million things that someone else is trying to think right now, how do I get this done? And you can be that Who to take them from where they are to where they want to go. That's the knowledge industry. That's the information industry, the upskill industry, and so many different names. But really, it is how to be in the self-education industry or being in the self-education industry allows you to be that Who for other people.
Wow. Oh, Dean, thank you. I mean, I know this, and yet hearing you deliver that just now, that helped me. I mean, you just moved me another percentage more than that.
Good. That's my job.
So thank you for that. Well, can we share a little bit about, this challenge?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's dive into that for a minute, because that was just perfect. I mean, this is what you guys are going to get.
Yeah. So on May 11th, put this on your calendar. May 11th, Tony Robbins and I are getting together and doing the challenge that we're calling the Own Your Future Challenge. It's 5 days long. It's about 2 hours a day. It's a free challenge because the world needs this. These are unprecedented times. We wanted to give something unprecedented, but we decided this one. We did the challenge with Tony in January, and we put 837,000 people in it. And that was for mindset. People need a different mindset in this new world. Now we want to help people with their economic future, creating their own economy. And we decided what better way than to pull back the curtain and show people how to enter this digital economy, the knowledge industry. What can they share? How do they unlock that asset that lives between their ears? Because knowledge is the new currency. I mean, it truly is. It's always been, but the world is realizing it. And we want to show people. And here's the cool part is not only are Tony and I doing it, we asked about 13, actually it's 14 of our dear friends. All of them said yes. All of them are coming for free. That's learning from people like our mutual friend, Jamie Kern-Lima, who went from Denny's to selling her business for $1.2 billion, and Jenna Kutcher and Shailene Johnson and Glow Atanmo and all these amazing women who fell into this industry. None of us planned it. We just ended up here. And then also people like Brendan Bouchard and Prince EA and Trent Shelton and Dave Hollis. Like, we put together a group of amazing people that are all, let me just say it, hell-bent on pulling back the curtain and showing you how you can shift and pivot and thrive in these crazy times, create your own economy from home, impacting other people's lives. We are so stoked, and we're going for 1 million people. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you this URL. Own it 58. Own it, OWNIT58.com. Go see all the amazing speakers and reserve your spot, and then go put it in your calendar. I know we're not charging, and sometimes when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. So trick your mind that you spent $5,000 for this, because in any other world you might, and you would. It's free, but don't treat it like free, because the value is priceless. So trick your mind that you paid for it, even though it's free. Secondly, take ownit58.com and send it to a friend as an accountability partner. We all know if you go to the gym with a friend, you work out harder. You hike with a friend, you hike faster. Anything you do with an accountability partner, you do better. Get an accountability partner to do this with you. Like, don't mess around, or just send it to people you know need this. When is there going to be another chance in the world to get all of these people in one spot? So go to Own It 58, reserve your spot, put it in your calendar, send it to the friend, multiple friends, and then pretend you spent a whole bunch of money and you'll show up with pen in hand.
That's and you guys, I'm going to be doing it with you. So, I'm going to start a group too. So we'll start a group on
Oh, you
Facebook.
have to.
We'll do lives. So I've been doing these lives, I've been doing these solo lives, just talking about my entrepreneurship journey and how much you, Dean, have impacted me, how much Tony has impacted me and my business. And I think let's just do it. Let's just get on a group. We're going to do a group with lives to follow up, and let's just keep rah-rahing each other and support each other along the way. And any questions that you guys have, you can send to me. Obviously, you can send to Dean and the team. We're just going to put together a really solid group. So we're going for 1 million, right? We're going
Yeah.
to put together a really solid group of people to just keep supporting each other along this journey. And I'm really, really excited about it. So,
Well, Serena, thanks for your energy. Thanks. You glow when you talk, and you fill up a room. I see why people are follow you and listen to you. I know you give so much caring and love and all that you do. So it's been a pleasure spending this time with you. Keep up the good work. And yeah, if there's anything I can do, you get that group together. I'll try to pop in and say hi. Last year, Jenna put a group together. I think she had 1,000 women going through this at the same time together, and they rocked the house. So know that this is amazing. And it's really going to be something spectacular. If you're ready to unlock your creativity or gain the certainty in these crazy times, this really could be the 5 days to do it for you.
oh yes, and actually, if you even want to level up,
Yeah,
this is 5
exactly.
days too. So even if you've got something that you feel really, and this is only going to level you up. That's why I'm so excited. And Dean, thank you so much. It's been so much fun. You're just amazing. I'm so grateful for you and for the light that you share and your wisdom and your energy. So thank you so much for being here today. And I know I'm going to see you and talk to you soon, either on Facebook. I know
Yeah.
we have another live too, but this is so much fun.
Well, thank you, Serena. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you May 11th.
See you guys soon.